Well, good evening. This is the first of 9 games with the Astros versus the Mets and the Yankees. And they stymied the most prolific offense in Major League Baseball. They've scored the most runs coming into tonight. What do? They get 2 solo shots, and that's it. The Astros pitching does it. Yordan returns to the lineup. Jose Altuve starts it off with a home run. Yordan adds one later on. Then Jose Siri hits one on top of the train tracks. And I don't think the Mets liked it too much. We're going to talk about that. And what does it mean? What is the Astros record when they score 7 runs or more this season? We'll talk about that and see, is this the statement game we're looking for, or is tomorrow's game, or if you're listening tomorrow on Wednesday, is Wednesday's game the real statement game? So stay tuned in, hang out with us. We got a lot of fun things to talk about.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett Htown Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we're your team every day. I'm Htown Wheelhouse, and you can find me at Htown Wheelhouse on Twitter and Instagram, at Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. You can find Eric, who's not here right now, but you can find him at Eric Talks Stros on Twitter, and you can find him, Eric Huysman, on Instagram. So check that out. Oh my gosh, this episode is so good. It's going to be so fun to talk about. But I want to talk to you about Astro fans. I want to tell you about this. You're going to love this. Today's episode is brought to you by Sports Card Investors. Sports Card Investor app is what sports card trading was meant to be like. Welcome to the world of trading cards reimagined. Stay tuned later for the show for more information on this awesome new tool for collectors. You're going to want to check out the Sports Card Investor app, and I'll tell you how I use it, and I'll tell you what is going on with that. Now, look at this. Already, we have a statement from one of our fans, Mr. Garcia. It says, Urquidy is back. Urquidy is back. Now, I want to talk about the offense tonight because it was really, really good. But I need you to hang with me, because in the last segment, we're going to hit on some trivia things. We're going to hit on who hit the longest home run in Minute Maid Park history. And we're going to talk about maybe what Siri walking too slowly out of the box means. And where's the statement game? Is this the statement game, or is a statement game tomorrow? And I'll get to that. So let's talk about Jose Urquidy. 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run. Pete Alonso. Now, Pete Alonso was 4-4 tonight. I make no bones about it. He is my favorite non-Houston Astro current player. I always have at least one player that's my favorite player to watch. It's not on our team. I like to pick National League guys, and Pete Alonso is my guy. Maybe it's because I was such a big Mark McGwire fan growing up. I like the home run hitters, but I like Pete Alonso's game. I like hard, big hitting first baseman. So he's kind of my guy. So I'd love for him going 4-for-4 tonight, getting the solo shot, and the Astros still kicking the Mets' tail. That was a great, great win. But Jose Urquidy got into some trouble. Bases loaded, had a couple men on. He did have the 4 walks, but let me tell you, this guy is, when he's on, he's on. If you watched my episode from last night that I recorded, or if you're listening Wednesday, if you listen on Tuesday, you will know. Actually, he only had 1 walk. I said 4 walks. He had 4 hits and 1 walk. I talked to Joe Thon, who's the manager of the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, and I said, Urquidy's one of these guys that we've been seeing. He's been giving up more hits lately. He's been a little inconsistent. And he said that's the tough thing about someone like Urquidy. He's a master of the zone. He hits the strike zone. And when a guy hits a strike zone, it's tough if he's not locating his pitches. And then when guys get on, guys start overthinking it. But Urquidy was calm, cool, collect. Even though he got the bases loaded, he got out of it. That's what your pitchers are supposed to do. And I like this right here. Urquidy knows he's auditioning to stay in the rotation. GSTLB. I don't know what your actual name is, but we'll just call you G-Man. How's that? So G-Man says that. And then Jason Jackson says Houston versus MLB. Hashtag so Houston. I love it. Like, who came into this game? Now, I'll tell you, Russo on High Heat on MLB Network today said that he thought the Astros were going to win 8-5. He thought it was going to be a high scoring affair. And I really thought the Mets were going to put together a little run there at the end and kind of make it close, but they didn't. So Urquidy got the job done. And then after him, Matan comes in. Okay. Matan gave up a solo shot, making the score 7-2. It was his fifth home run he's given up in 28 and 1/3 innings of work. He has 20. He has now 25 Ks after tonight with a 1.20 WHIP. I don't know what that home run did to his WHIP, but he gave up that one shot. So 25 Ks on the year, 28 and 1/3 innings, not bad. I know Phil Matan has not been as much lately, but in other words, he hasn't been himself like he was in the playoffs, but he's still getting it done. And then what I love to see is you had JD Davis, former Astro, no tribute video. Okay, I'm sorry. He had 2 strikeouts tonight. Francisco Lindor, 3 strikeouts. And then you had I'll make that correction guy here in a second. I'll make that I'll try to see if I can find a name to call him. So 3 strikeouts. So 5 of the 7 strikeouts that they had initially was Francisco Lindor and JD Davis. Again, they have the polar bear. He got on all 4 times. You would think if Pete Alonso goes 4 for 4, like the Mets are winning the game, right? No, I mean, Trevor Williams coming in has not had a good season. Trevor Williams, the last time he faced the Astros, gave up like 3 home runs. He was with the Pirates at the time. And so Trevor Williams doesn't have a great history. He's not having a great year. Now, tomorrow's pitching matchup, we'll get that at the end of the show. Carlos Carrasco is having an excellent year, a Cy Young type candidacy year. And so it's just one of those things where you love to see the Astros come in and do the job. You love the pitchers to come in. You love Urquidy to come in and get the good starts, like Mr. Garcia says. And let me talk about Seth Martinez. Seth Martinez is a guy that you really didn't know what he was going to give you this year, because he was pretty much, I mean, we saw him last year a little bit, but he literally has in all 11 of his appearances given up 0 runs. He has, I believe, 13 strikeouts after tonight. Let's see, what was his total? Because he had 12 coming into the game. He had 2 strikeouts, so he has 14 now. He has 14 strikeouts, a .75 WHIP. See if that's updated. That's not updated. A 0 ERA. Actually, no. Okay. Good Lord. I'm reading my notes all wrong. Martinez had 1 strikeout. Matan had 1. Abreu had 2. So let me back up a little bit. Martinez now has, in his 11 appearances, 13 strikeouts, which is not bad. Not giving up any runs. The opponent's batting average, 113. And that is what you want to see. Ryan Stanek is on his own scoreless streak right now, 17 innings pitched in 18 appearances with 18 strikeouts at .75 WHIP. So these guys are getting it done. This bullpen is stellar. It makes you wonder if Urquidy gets back on track, if Javier's a little bit more consistent, if Luis Garcia starts getting wins, like, where's the starting pitching need coming from? Is it because they don't know about McCullers? Is it because they don't know about Odorizzi? Because we haven't heard anything. It's been mum for a while on those 2 guys. I know that I heard they were doing PFPs, and I saw a picture of Lance McCullers pitching in some practice thing today. So he is nearing a rehab assignment, probably at Sugarland. So I think McCullers might actually come back before Odorizzi, which I thought it might be flipped on that. But with that being said, I want to tell you about Sports Card Investor. Sports Card Investor is this app. Now, I've been collecting cards since I was, I can't remember how old I was when I collected my first card. I was probably a toddler, right? I didn't even know what they were. And I've been collecting cards my whole life. I'm 46 now, so 40 plus years in the industry. And I can tell you, I remember my dad and I going to card shows, and I'll make this real quick, getting inventory software, or how do we find cards? We'd have to call card shops. I mean, it was so difficult to find a card. The only way you could find them is at a card show. Well, now this is like having a card show in your pocket. You now have access to over 630,000 cards in this app, not just MLB. It's like all sports cards, plus Marvel. I mean, there's Garbage Pail Kids, there's Pokemon cards. I mean, whatever cards you're into, they probably have it on the Sports Card Investor app. So go check it out. Sports Card Investor is the hobby's most powerful resource. Quickly check the value of your favorite cards, find great deals, and profit from the hobby you love. Available completely free in the Google Play and Apple App Stores. The Card Investor app is the must-have for baseball fans. So just make sure that you go here and that you look for prospects. I mean, look for this guy Cruz that just came up with the Pirates. Look for these guys Ramirez, these different guys, these different clubs that are coming up that, you're going to buy them low now, but maybe sell high. And that would be easier done if you had Sports Card Investor. So with that being said, yes, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Now, did I say a different name? Because someone said Seth Martinez. Maybe I said something else, but yes, it is Seth Martinez. He has been a phenomenal beam of light on the relief mound, and I love to see that. Now, the Houston Astros, okay. The Houston Astros are really doing a great job coming into this game, getting 10 hits. 3 of their 5, basically they were like 3 for 5 with runners in scoring, or 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Of their 7 hits, 4 of them were extra base hits. Alex Bregman was 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Yordan Alvarez coming back hitting a home run. Jose Altuve hitting a home run. It was absolutely phenomenal to see these guys go off. And it is just so neat to see the smiles on their faces. I love when Yordan hits a home run because it's always a no doubter. It's always one of those it's gone. Jose Altuve's was a laser. They say it would have been out in 13 parks, but I think Baseball Savant had it at 8 ballparks. It doesn't matter. It's our ballpark, and that's the advantage of having the Crawford boxes. You just love to see this team having fun. You love to see guys, Jose Altuve, I don't know about you. To me, he looks like a little kid out there. And now, with that being said, Jose Siri's home run, oh my gosh, what a shot. This guy, I thought he was going to pull that bow and arrow move like when he took off. He dropped his bat and he just stared at it. He didn't go anywhere. And then he slowly meandered out of the box. And as he rounded first, I don't know if you noticed, Pete Alonso, the polar bear, I would not want to take that guy off. Pete Alonso just stared at him. And then as he was running around to third, Escobar, I believe, their third baseman, was chirping at him. And as he chirped, Jose Siri kind of slowed down a little bit. And he didn't look at him. He didn't make eye contact with him. But the Mets didn't like that. And like I said at the top of the show, the Mets are one of the most hit-by-pitch teams. They get in more conflicts than anybody. Lindor's a fiery guy. They've got guys that have swag. They've got guys that have this New York attitude. I think a lot of times maybe, we think of the Bronx Bombers and the Yankees and the whole toughness thing. And the Mets are just, they're the Mets in Citi Field. But Queens, New York, all that stuff, those guys have a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a blue collar. That mindset goes all the way back to the 80s when they talked about the 86 NLCS, which was still mind-crushing to think about how we nearly won that game. If we would have gone to Game 7, Mike Scott would have probably shut them down. Astros would have gone to their first World Series. But the Mets have always had that kind of bravado about them. Now, the one cool thing about the Mets that was talked about on the broadcast, I tweeted out about before, was if you remember when A.J. Hinch gave his famous speech after Harvey and said, hey, Houston, we're here. Thank you, first responders. We played the Mets that series. The Mets gave us an extra day so that they could spend time with their families and be in the community because they had been on the road. The Mets didn't sit in their hotel room. They went out into the community, and they helped Houston, and they were a part of like charitable events and helping people like recover, get stuff out of their house. And so from top to bottom, I think that's a really good organization, but they're blue collar guys on the field. And Jose Siri's, I love his swag, but I think at times it's a little over the top, especially if you're not hitting. I mean, it's kind of like for me when a linebacker gets his fifth sack in a game where they're losing 45-8, right? It's like, why are you celebrating the sack? Like, y'all are losing. Now, obviously, Siri, the Astros are winning, but he's batting 190. And you can't ask a guy to change his personality. And I'm not necessarily knocking him, but he's got to realize that in the major leagues, guys don't like being shown up. His homer was 413 feet. Now, it looked further because those train tracks make it look further than that. But that was awesome. Now, something I want to share with y'all real quick, and then we'll get into a couple other things. What I think is kind of a turning, like what game is a statement game? Tuesday's game or Wednesday's game be a statement game? But y'all know during the Astros games, they usually bring a kid on the field and he runs along the warning track to steal second base. Brian McTaggart tweeted this out. When they said go, the kid took off, not to the base on the warning track. He took off to the second base, like the actual base in the ground, the Major League Baseball base that they're running on. He ran to it, and everybody's like, what is this kid doing while they're taking infield? And he's trying to pull the base out of the ground. Altuve and Dubon actually go over and try to help him pull this base out of the ground, and they can't get it out of the ground. It's like stuck in there. And so they eventually had to stop. He went back. He got the other base, but they said that was a hilarious moment. And you'd love to see that. That's the kind of team that this team is. They are fun loving. They play baseball the right way. And, despite all the hate, guess who's the leading vote getter in the All-Star game for second baseman right now in the American League? We'll talk about that here in a second. Let me tell you about LinkedIn. As the sun comes out and small businesses are back in business, LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to grow your team. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the people you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 810 million people. Then add your job in the purple hashtag hiring frame in your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring so that your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number one in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. Now, listen to this. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnMLB to post your job for free. Hey, now, picks in the ultimate NBA mock draft have been made. Search now for the ultimate NBA mock draft and get over 50 insiders, the Odyssey sports experts and draft experts for Locked On NBA Big Board. The 5-episode ultimate NBA mock draft is underway. Make ultimate NBA mock draft your second listen today after you make us your first listen. So, what does this say right here? Melly says, what about Lindor striking out, then taking a swing at Maldi's throw to third? That could have been a disaster. Yes, that was questionable. I couldn't tell if Lindor's a playful guy. He has a playful personality. When we had Correa, him and Correa were buddies. I'm not sure if Lindor is from Puerto Rico. I can't remember what country he's from, but they were very close. They were both rookie shortstops. Correa won the Rookie of the Year over him. And so I think Lindor has a pretty good relationship with the Astros. I couldn't tell if it was playful or if it was like he was frustrated. But yeah, you don't ever swing your bat because what happens if you had hit his hand, And then Jose Siri got called out on the foul tip caught by the catcher, which I don't know if you caught that. The bat never hit the ball. The ball went into the catcher's mitt. The bat was still behind the glove. And actually, it should have been catcher interference. And he would have had a base. Who knows? They would have scored 10, 12, 13 runs if that would have happened. If you're listening, if you're watching, please hit the like button. Please make sure you've subscribed, and make sure that you make us your first listen every single day. So we had 3 home runs: Jose Altuve, Jose Siri, and Yordan Alvarez. Yordan Alvarez, this guy. Come on. Is there any more evidence that we need that this guy is on an MVP tear? I want y'all to listen to this, and this is from my media notes that I get each day from the Astros. Yordan Alvarez ranks second in on base percentage, fourth in OPS, fourth in slugging, fourth in the AL and at bats per home run at 11.78. Fifth in home runs, he now has 19. Fifth in weighted runs above average. Alvarez also leads the American League in hard hit percentage, 62.9%, meaning almost 2 out of every 3 balls he hits is at 95 miles per hour or faster. Yes, Ryan, you're talking about the catcher interference I would have called catcher interference if I was the umpire, because Jose Siri's bat hit the catcher's glove. Anytime the bat hits the glove, it is considered catcher interference. So that's what the call should have been. So yes, Lindor is from Puerto Rico. Thank you very much. I wasn't sure. I hate saying that someone is from one country and they're actually from another, because I know these guys are really proud of where they're from. Let me ask y'all this. Who do you think hit the longest home run in Minute Maid Park history? I had to look this up because I thought I knew. And I thought it was Yordan Alvarez. And when I found out who it was, I was like, wait, that guy, when he got a hold of a ball, he could hit. The longest home run in Minute Maid Park history was by Jake Marisnick. Jake Marisnick hit a 469-foot home run to center field off Boston Red Sox pitcher David Price on June 18th, 2017. The homer, which had an exit velocity of 107.8 miles per hour off the bat, was Marisnick's 8th of the season. Jake Marisnick, right there. Jake Marisnick. And so there you go. Oh, and look at this. Ryan said, because I'm not watching the post game, I am kind of y'all's post game. Ryan says he just caught Siri's post game interview, and he said I made an error regarding the home run show off. And look, Siri's had a long road, tough road to the major leagues. He's been discarded. He's been highly touted for his defensive stats. He's struggled with the bat, and he has a personality. He has a playful personality. He has a swaggy personality. He's the kid that, like, if you see, because I actually saw a select team, they had a home run chain, and I was like, okay, you guys are 13. You don't need home run chains, but whatever. Like, Siri would be that kid that would construct the home run chain at home and bring it and say, hey, coach, I brought a home run chain. Like, I don't think, like, some guys are out there and they're jerks, and I think they're a-holes, and I think they purposely are cocky and arrogant. I don't think Siri is blatantly, like, trying to be in your face, arrogant, like shove it down your throat kind of thing. I think that's just who he is. Everything I saw when I interviewed Jake Myers, when I interviewed Pete Solomon last year, when I interviewed Brett Canine, and Jose Siri was out there every interview I had at Constellation Field, he was always playing, always joking. He was never serious. And I remember them saying, I've said this before, Ryan Posner, who is the media relations guy, he wears like 20 million hats. The guy does a phenomenal job there with the Space Cowboys. He said Siri is like a 26-year-old and a 12-year-old. Like, he's like a 12-year-old and a 26-year-old body. And so I really think that he's got confidence. I really think he is a little arrogant. But I think for someone like him, that's like his 3rd home run. So maybe if he hits 50 home runs or 30 home runs and he's doing that every single home run, then I can say, whatever. But like you said, T. Bradley, the Mets don't care. He plays, he gets some chin music. He may, if he plays tomorrow, he may get some baseballs close to the vest. And, here's the thing, though. You don't want to get into a situation like that in a second game, right? Well, why? Because you got 8 more games against all New York teams, 2 of the best teams in baseball. outside of the Astros. So got to be careful there. Now, before I talk about was this a tone-setting game or is Wednesday's a tone-setting game, I want to tell y'all about Blue Nile. Blue Nile is the original online jeweler to high-income adults, right? 25 and older males who are getting engaged, and you think, wait, hold on, I'm not a high-income adult. But look, they make this special for you. They want you to celebrate with a custom engagement ring of her dreams or gifting a classic timeless jewelry piece at all price points so that you can find what you would there that you won't find at any traditional jeweler. Okay. They have wedding jewelry and fine jewelry. Whatever you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, find jewelry as unique with modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile is simple with online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, size, clarity, as well as setting style. And then they handcraft a perfect engagement ring. Each ring is made one of a kind. Looking for fine jewelry but having trouble choosing? Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7, available via phone or chat, so you can find that memorable gift on any budget. Not just high-income budgets, any budget. So to make the moment special and sparkle with jewelry from Blue Nile, Locked On Astros listeners get $50 off your purchase of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement rings as well as fine jewelry. Use code Locked On. That's code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to Blue Nile today. All right, I'm back with you guys. So here's the deal. And this is what I want to talk about. I want to look ahead to tomorrow's game and pitching matchup as well. See right here. Someone says before I mention that, Martin talked to Eduardo Escobar. He gave Siri some jaw as he rounded third and ended the beef before it started. Okay, cool. And then right here, Rosetta says, hey guys, there's nothing wrong with that when you have a good memory. So I don't know, Guy and Rosetta are having this conversation. I kind of butted in towards the end. My bad. That was out of context. If you heard that on the audio, sorry. Okay. So here we go. Tone setter, national narrative, Astros versus the two hottest teams in baseball, the New York Mets and the New York Yankees. Is this a tone-setting game? And let me tell you why I'm asking that. Because this is the 16th game where the Astros have scored 7 runs or more. Prior to tonight, their record in games after they score 7 runs or more is 3-12. 3-12. So the tone setter for me is not the first game of the series. It's what you do the second day. Because you're asking who's going up tomorrow. One of the Mets' best pitchers this year, Carlos Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco is pitching. It's a day game, and he is 8-2 with a 3.96 ERA, 75 strikeouts against Luis Garcia, 4-5, 3.41 ERA with 69 strikeouts. The tone setter is on Wednesday. Now, if they don't win Wednesday, does that mean they set the tone and don't lose the rest of the games? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you can't say this is a tone setter if 12 out of the 15 games that you played and scored 7 runs the day after, you've poo-pooed the bed or you haven't done anything the next day. And the 2 of those 3 wins came against the Twins and the Nationals. So they weren't even teams that were worth a crap. So the tone setter, mark my words, is a Wednesday game. The Astros can make a statement if they can win 2-0. The Yankees lost on Tuesday to the Rays. And I don't know if they have a game tomorrow before we arrive. Okay, they do play Tampa again. So the Yankees could very well be 0-2. The Astros could be 2-0 going into the Bronx. And that would be a perfect way to set up going into the Yankees series. The Yankees and the Mets are the 2 best teams in baseball. The Mets scored the most runs. The Yankees have the most home runs. I wonder where that came from. Check this out. An MLB article came out today and said that Rob Manfred sent a notice to every team that every baseball has to be mudded and go through the same procedure starting Wednesday. If you're listening Wednesday, starting today. Think about it. What starts Thursday? The Yankees and Astros series. Where are they playing? In New York. Kind of seems like a little coincidence to me that the league suddenly is worried about balls being consistently prepared before the game. That Yankee ball, I am legally obligated to say, as I quote Ryan Spader, that this is an opinion of mine, but I absolutely believe that the New York Yankees have a juice ball that they've been using. Go look at their home run totals. Go look at their exit velocities and go look at their launch angles and go look at the various stats surrounding that. It looks a little fishy to me. I'm not saying Aaron Judge can't hit home runs. I'm not saying Anthony Rizzo isn't a home run hitter. I'm not saying Stanton isn't a home run hitter. I'm not saying the Yankees aren't good. I'm not discrediting their success. They clearly, out of all the teams that have played over 500 teams, they have the most wins. And they're the first team to 50. So you got to respect them, as right now they're currently the best team in baseball. But as you know and I know, it's not about the regular season. It's about what you do in the playoffs. And yes, Ryan, they've been microwaving their baseballs. They have been microwaving their baseballs. The league is going to tell. I thought they mudded the baseballs anyways. I thought that was normal procedure, but I digress. So tomorrow's matchup, and we're going to wrap up on this. Carlos Carrasco, the Astros that have had the most success against him, Yuli Gurriel, 417. Michael Brantley, 333. And Jose Altuve, 385. Yordan Alvarez has never faced him. Neither has Tucker, Siri, McCormick, or Metajevic. And only one player has faced Luis Garcia, and only 4 at-bats, Mark Canha. So that may work in the Astros' advantage. The Mets haven't faced Garcia. They haven't seen the cha-cha slide. And so that is one of the things that will probably play in our advantage. I think the Astros pick up the win tomorrow. I'm not going to predict a score. And no, I cannot meet you at San Arnold tomorrow because I will not be at the game. I cannot make the day game, but I just, I appreciate you offering. But if I was there, I could be there, but I'm not. So we'll talk soon. Make sure that you stay tuned and locked on Astros tomorrow. I'm going to have Jimmy from Astros Future on. We're going to talk the game recap. We're going to talk Astros minor league. We're going to talk about Hunter Brown, Corey Lee, Matthew Berryhill. We're going to talk about this Yanier Diaz. I mean, all these guys. And it is just so cool to have someone like Jimmy from Astros Future on. And then next week on Sunday, to do a Yankees recap, we're going to have Stacey Sula from Locked On Yankees. It should be a good show. So check it out. Make sure that you make us your first listen every day. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm sorry I didn't get to all your comments. It's a little tougher when I'm flying solo to get everybody in, but I have been seeing the comments. I do appreciate the conversation. And with that being said, the Astros win a bludgeoning game. They crush the Mets soul. We'll see on Wednesday for the day game. Carlos Carrasco versus Luis Garcia. Yordan Alvarez versus Pete Alonso, the polar bear. Who will come out on top? Remember, we are your team every single day. Go Stros.